All right, if you would look at your table, we have an incredibly nice surprise for you. We have a gift I want to tell you about. Susan McCarthy recently published Captive to Captivated. It's a journey to freedom, and has started writing a follow-up book called Redeemed to Redeeming. This first book tells the story of the early years of her adult faith journey. She was captive as a kid to lies about God wanting to catch her doing wrong to send her to hell. She is now captivated in love with him as she hears his voice so clearly. This short read shares her journey to freedom and rich intimacy with her daddy and reflects her calling to set the captives free. She would appreciate any Amazon reviews you might post after you enjoy this book. And if you don't know Rick and Susan McCarthy, they have been long time Barnabas Group partners, but this is a good, quick read, but it's free. If you have the birthday that's closest to today's date, today is March 23rd, and your birthday is closest to today's date. And I know somebody here today has a birthday today. They've already told me. So that book is yours. It's on the table. So pick this book up. It's a free gift from Susan and Rick. All right. We're going to start our morning today with a little bit of a video. When's the last time anybody's been on a trip? It's been a while. So we're going to show you a video of a trip that we did as a Barnabas Group a year ago when we went down to Guatemala to visit the Kids Alive site in Guatemala. So let's take a look at that video. Is Steve Lewis here? Steve? Okay, stand up, Steve. So, Steve organized that trip with Kids Alive, and if you get a chance to go on a mission trip with them down to Guatemala, I would highly encourage you to do it. It's fun, you'll be enlightened, and I got to tell you, the places we stayed were 5-star, and you will feel safe, and you'll see some great things. So if you get a chance to do that trip again soon, Steve will be putting another one together. If you're a guest here today, you probably wonder, who is the Barnabas Group? Well, I want to give you the elevator speech so that you know what you got yourself into. The Barnabas Group provides a platform that allows the Holy Spirit to draw partners and attendees closer to the Lord so that they are blessed as they bless the kingdom. And we do this by connecting leaders and changing lives. If someone invited you here today, they probably thought you would make a good Barnabas Group member if you're a guest. And I hope that by the end of today you decide that this is a place you want to be and that you decide to join. If you would grab the feedback the handouts that are on your tables, I would like to walk you through that. So those handouts, if you grab those, there should be enough for everybody on every table. If they're not, just grab one from the next table. But go to page 3. On page 3, we talk about our feedback forms. Every ministry and even the keynote presenters today have a feedback form in there, and they would all love to have you fill that out. At the top of every form, there's some numbers from 1 to 5, and we ask you to circle those numbers. If you would want them to call you right away, you circle the 5. If you just want to pray for them, then you're probably going to circle the 1. But that lets them know how to prioritize who needs to be connected with quickly. So circle those, and then print legibly your name, your email address, and your phone number. As I've said many times before, I think a lot of you guys are doctors, the way you guys write. So make sure that they can read that, all right? And then at the end of the morning, we will have trays out front with the names of each of the opportunities today, including the Barnabas Group coaching. All those will be out there, and you can take those feedback forms, drop them in that particular person's tray, and then they will contact you within the next couple of days. So please do that. We'll take a minute at the end of every presentation. We'll pray for the ministry, and we'll have time to fill those feedback forms out. You don't need to fill out every feedback form, but fill out the ones that you feel the Holy Spirit is getting you interested in, and see what God does. And you can also be an encouragement. If they say something today that encourages you or challenges you, let them know that, because that's good feedback for them, because they're going to give these presentations and they want to hear that. Also, you may know somebody that's a perfect partner or perfect connection for them who's not here today. Give them that person's name and contact information so that they can get in touch with that person. Huge help to them. If you turn to page 4, we have a Barnabas Group app now, and that will tell you how to download that onto your phone. If you're a partner, you want to download that, you can actually view any of the feedback forms. You can go on the feedback forms and fill them out on the app and send them in from your app. You have the 2-page ministry form is on your app. You can register for all of our various events and golf outings when we've got them. All those kinds of things are on that app. So download that app so that you can use that. It'll tell you when things are, and so you can plan your schedule. But page 4 tells you how to do that really easy. I was able to do it. So if I can do it, believe me, anybody in this room can do it. On page 7, we've got information about our SWAT team meetings, and we've already done 4 SWAT teams this year. I would encourage everybody in here, get on a SWAT call. Alan Weisenberg does a great job. He interviews ministries. He picks out the key question that they need to get involved with. And then we spend about an hour, hour and a half, digging deep on that question with them, asking them lots of questions, and then giving them ideas on how they might, think through and solve whatever that issue is that they're working on. So it's a great way to get involved. I know most of us think we don't have that kind of expertise, but I promise you, you will. It doesn't take any time. You don't have to park your car at a meeting because it's all done on Zoom. Page 8, we've got the Dream Master Weekend. Kurt and Rhonda Hamner run that, and they do a great job. I encourage you, if you've never been to that before, it's a good weekend to go and spend some time with your spouse. Page 13, Heritage Christian College, who will be presenting here in May. They have a mentor program, and if you want to give a few hours a month of your time to really encourage and help spur a young Christian college student in Ghana, that's a great way to do it. All done by Zoom. You pick the time, they match you up with somebody, and then you can become a mentor, maybe an hour, 2 hours a month, piece of cake, all right? And they teach you how to do it. They actually put people on the calls with you to help you with the first couple of calls. Page 19, Leadership Recruiting. Jeff Davis has got a great program. If you are part of a ministry in any way, even on a board, I think most of us in here are on boards, that's a great opportunity to meet with Jeff, and if you need recruiting help, he can help you at an incredibly reduced cost of what it takes to recruit top people. There's many other announcements, so take a look through those. We've got some upcoming seminars. I know Mark Green and Brad Forms are going to do an interview here pretty soon. We'll be announcing that, but Russ has been working on those, and we've got lots of upcoming seminars. John Pearson will be doing our board seminar again, and boy, that always sells out. Was a big favorite, but we'll be doing that towards the end of the year. Where is Russ? Russ, stand up, would you, Russ? Russ is now, we've been fortunate. He has come on board. He and I are co-managing partners, so you're going to see a lot more of Russ. He'll be up here on the stage and doing the announcements for the second half today, and we're excited to have him, but he will allow us to have a lot more bandwidth, and so we're excited to have him as part of our team. So if you don't know Russ, make sure you introduce yourself to him. He's a great guy. His wife, Gina, who is not here today, is she here? All right, there's Gina. All right, Gina's even nicer than Russ, so make sure you meet Gina, all right? So she's a lot nicer than Russ, so but spend some time with them. And if you haven't looked, this year, our keynote speakers for the rest of 2021 in March, we have Sky Jathani, who's spoken a couple times here before. He was probably one of our most popular speakers ever. He will be back to speak in May. He will be here. And then Dr. William Lyle, who is absolutely fascinating. He's an anti-abortion guy. He's a doctor, and he will just bombard you with some stuff that you'll be amazed. In August, Jim Daly will be back, and Greg Leith will be interviewing him and putting Jim Daly's feet to the fire, so that'll be fun. In November, we'll have Kara Powell. Kara Powell is terrific. And a guy named Alistair Begg will be here as well, so we're excited to have them. I want to introduce Bob Shank. Bob's going to come up and tell us about the master's program, and we wouldn't be in this room today if it wasn't for Bob Shank taking me to lunch several years ago and sharing the idea of starting this group. So Bob, come on up.
Not that I'm under any pressure. This is what Alexa picked up at your house today. Wife to you. Where are you going? Answer, Barnabas meeting. Out the door, kid looks at mom. Mom, what's a meeting? Do you understand how extraordinary this is? Jim, the program sounds great today. It could have been hand puppets and we would have come. But it's more than that. I graduated from high school 51 years ago. It was the last certificate I got saying that I accomplished anything academically. I started college, but then got diverted into business with my father-in-law in his 25-year-old company. I spent 14 years in industry, finding that God had some parallel tracks for me to consider, and through mentors in my life, Chuck Swindoll, Howard Hendricks, Bob Buford, I found my lane. 25 years ago, we launched the master's program to help men and women find their lane. You're on the right parkway just being here, but finding your own lane is critical. Jim is doing what he does because he found his lane. Dozens of men and women in the room have been through the master's program and have found their lane. Church doesn't do that. At church, we're trying to make disciples. Problem is, every time Barna does another report, we find out that we're failing on a broad front. Church-going Christians are not essentially different than the people that live next door to them and sleep in on Sundays. Church is great. We're supportive of church on a broad front, but we do more than church. Your pastor has found his lane. Why shouldn't you find yours? I'm inviting you to come and do a test drive of the master's program this Thursday on the 25th from 9 to 3, Zoom. If you can't make that, we've got a backup alternative with a different track on April the 5th, the day after Easter. If you have absolutely concluded that you know your lane, your calling, you don't need to come, unless you want to bring someone who has not. But it may be, as one of our newest participants said, after a Zoom first session day, it was the most important 6 hours of my life. and he's an accomplished professional in his own field. Join us, would you?
Believe it or not, that thing was flashing. He got through at 1.7. I want you to know that was good.